Hi, this is Sherry Veronica. This is a story that came to me yesterday. It is in relation to a high profile politician slash attorney who walked out on his marriage 20 years. 20 years of marriage. He walked out on that marriage for a younger person. But this person, let's call her Kristina. Okay, let's call her Kristina. He walked out, the high profile attorney slash politician walked away from his marriage for this lady. She works at a funeral home, something like that. But anyhow, he left his marriage and she was involved, Kristina was involved with a guy who got a job at the African Import Export Bank. You know that? African Import Export Bank. And he drives a Jeep with a CD plate. Like, he thinks he's somebody, but he had her face in a mess because it is being alleged that this guy that she was seeing was beating her. It's just amazing what women would allow to happen to them. But the story goes on that she had a daughter and the daughter died. It was medical malpractice, and the attorney slash politician who walked away from 20 years of marriage, he paid for her to have attorneys sue the hospital, sue the QEH. Okay, he paid for it. And since he wanted her, he actually paid for the man that she was seeing, male, I'm sorry. He paid for him to be followed, and the guy driving the CD Jeep was cheating, and he provided the woman, Kristina, with photos like proving that the man that she was with and the man who was beating her up was also cheating. So she left. So he was happy with that. The high profile attorney was very happy that he broke that particular relationship up. And because the female was in a tragic situation with her daughter dying, she was telling him that she does not mind having the emotional relationship, but she doesn't want to have a physical relationship. Okay, that's what is being said. She didn't want to have a physical relationship with the attorney slash politician. But anyhow, he seems to be turned on by that. Yeah, the fact that she kept him at bay, but not too far, but far enough, seemed to excite him, and seems though he bought her a Toyota Corolla as a surprise for her birthday. Okay, there's a dealership, they said, at the bottom of Belmont Road, and he, bought her a Toyota, and he paid for her vacation, Christmas, which was last month. She just returned from a Christmas vacation that he paid for. And people that are watching him, they're saying that he's going through some sort of midlife crisis or something, because it doesn't really make sense, the amount of money he's pouring into her and not getting anything in return, physical attention. And it goes on, the story goes on that she won the case that she brought against the doctor at the hospital. She won. And it seems as though I had that particular matter on my YouTube page because it made the news that, the mother was with her daughter at the hospital, and, she left to go and get some food, and when she returned, the daughter was brain dead because it seems as though they gave her bad medicine. They gave her the wrong type of medicine. So the daughter died. And when she won the case, and I don't understand the timing of it all because it seems pretty quick, but it seems as though she got $900,000. That's the conclusion of her case. He paid for her to have an attorney. He paid for her to have a vacation. She kept him in a friend zone, but it seems though she won. And like I said, everything seemed to have moved pretty quickly in this particular story, because they're saying that she left the guy, the attorney slash politician, and she certainly is not going to get back with the guy from the African Import-Export Bank, because up to recently he had her face swollen, so she left them both. She left them both since she won the case, and she has moved on. Now the talk was the attorney slash politician being used? Did she use him? And for what they're saying about him, he is saying that he was out with her a couple times and she picked up the tab, she paid. So it wasn't as though she was waiting for him to do everything. And he liked that about her, because she wasn't waiting on him hand and foot to do anything. And that's why he didn't mind giving her money, because when they were out, she did pay the tab. So it's a strange story. An abusive ex, a doting guy, politician slash attorney, who left 20 years of marriage, doting over her. She won a case. She was in great tragedy when her daughter died, but she won the case thanks to the attorney slash politician. And since the money, obviously the government is not appealing the judgment amount. So since she has that money in hand, she moved on her own, which I think is a very good thing, by the way. I think it's a very good thing. Now they're saying there's a part 2 to this story that's coming. That's what I'm hearing, that there's a part 2. Now I cannot understand what the part 2 would be, since, she got the money. She can get her life back together. She works, she has her own thing, so she can buy food and pay her bills. And if she has that money, that can hold her over. Excuse me. And but the attorney is saying there was the attorney is saying there was nothing physical, nothing, zero. And now he is all beside himself because she has moved on her own. Okay? She has moved off, totally moved off. And she has said to them, I have it from here. I'll take it from here. Okay, I'll take it from here. So he thought because she was severely depressed because of her daughter that maybe she would run into his arms. And in a way, some people were saying that she had him at her beck and call. He just did everything for her. For some reason, he did everything for her. Don't ask me why and how she did it, but he did. And she has moved on her own. So the part 2, I can't wait to hear, but the person is telling me that there's a part 2. And yeah, this is the part 1. This lady, calling her Kristina, was dating this guy that works at the African Import-Export Bank that was beating her. He drives a Jeep with CD plates, but he was cheating, and the husband that left his wife of 20 years paid someone to follow the guy from African Import-Export Bank, and he was cheating. He gave that information to Kristina. Kristina left, and the politician slash attorney was taking care of Kristina, while she was going through the mourning of her daughter and the court case against the hospital, and just trying to make sure that she is okay. And he's standing there, not pushing to bed her, but he was hoping that it would happen. and she was successful on the legal matter, and she has pushed off on her own. She has left him. She left the banker and the wife. I'm going to ask more about the politician slash attorney's wife. They're saying that she took it really hard and she has closed down. She has actually, closed down her friend zone. So it's really hard to get anything from that angle. But yeah, I'm going to try to get more out of this story, because if there's a part 2, what could it possibly be? And they're saying it's better than this part 1. Yeah, but Kristina, you did well. You did well. You kept they're predators. Yeah, and I'm surprised that you were so strong, and it's a compliment to you. Okay, I'm going to compliment you. You were very strong. I guess you know the terrain. You have to. You know the terrain there, and you got a Christmas vacation. You got a Toyota Corolla. Whatever else you needed, you got your attorney's fees paid for the case, the medical malpractice case, and you can. It's almost $1 million. It's almost that you can you can have in your bank, and you can work with that. So it's good that you see yourself now in a situation and a position where you can take care of yourself. You're saying, let me take care of myself. Let me straighten myself up. Let me get my mind right. Let me do this for myself. And it's a compliment to you as a female, okay, as a female. So this is part 1 of this story of this man leaving his wife for a woman that he never really got. And I want to hear more about the wife. Kristina should be complimented. You can take some lessons from her. And the African export-import guy that decides to beat women and thinks that because he has a CD and car, the license plate, CD meaning what? You're what, special? Kind of special? Yeah, you don't hit a woman. You don't hurt a black woman, especially a black woman. You never should hurt a black female. Never, ever. So I'm gonna get more on him, because I have his photo, but it's not really about him per se. It's more about the attorney and the female, and how that whole situation after leaving his wife, how it ended up with her moving off on her own. Okay, this is Sherry Veronica.
Help me spread the word about Naked Departure via social media. Subscribe and share to show support and love for our channels.